2 million years ago, deep within the tropical forests of ancient Asia, a shadow moved between the trees. Towering above the undergrowth, it left behind footprints as wide as a dinner plate. Birds scattered at its presence. Even tigers and crocodiles kept their distance. This was not a legend, it was real. The creature was Gigantopithecus blacki, the largest ape to ever walk the earth. Standing nearly 10 feet tall and weighing over half a ton, it was the true King Kong of prehistory, discovered first through fossilized teeth sold in Chinese markets as dragon bones. Gigantopithecus remained a mystery for decades. When scientists examined the teeth closely, they realized they belonged to something extraordinary, an ape far larger than any known species. Later discoveries in caves across China, Vietnam, and Thailand confirmed it. This was not just a myth. It was the remnant of a real animal that once dominated the forests of the Pleistocene. To imagine Gigantopithecus, think of a gorilla, but far larger, broader, and built for power. Its jaw could crush bamboo and hard fruit with ease. Its arms were enormous, capable of tearing branches apart. Fossil evidence suggests males could weigh up to 600 kilograms, towering twice the height of an average human. But despite its monstrous size, Gigantopithecus was no mindless beast. It was intelligent, social, and adapted to a world shared with early humans. During its time, Asia was home to early hominins, ancestors of modern humans who had begun using tools and fire. That means somewhere in those dense forests, Gigantopithecus and early humans might have crossed paths. One species walked upright and made tools. The other ruled the jungle with sheer strength. No one knows how these encounters went, but the legends that survive may hold clues. In China and Southeast Asia, stories of enormous hairy forest giants have existed for centuries. Creatures that lived far from human settlements, rarely seen but often feared. Some scientists believe these tales might be distant echoes of Gigantopithecus, remembered long after it disappeared. The fossil record tells us it lived from about 2 million to 300,000 years ago, meaning it survived almost until the rise of modern humans. For over 1 million years, it thrived in the humid forests of southern Asia, feeding on bamboo, fruits, and plants. Like modern gorillas, it was likely a gentle giant most of the time, using its strength only when threatened. Its massive jaws and teeth are its most famous features. Each molar is nearly an inch across, flat and ridged for grinding plant material. The structure of the enamel shows that it was primarily herbivorous, feeding on fibrous vegetation rather than meat, but its sheer size meant it needed enormous amounts of food every day, likely hundreds of pounds of leaves and shoots. That diet would also become its downfall. Around 300,000 years ago, the climate began to change. Glacial periods spread cold, dry air across Asia, shrinking the dense forests that Gigantopithecus depended on. Bamboo forests withered, fruit trees became scarce. The great ape had nowhere left to go. Unlike smaller primates that could adapt to open grasslands, Gigantopithecus was too big, too specialized, and too slow to evolve quickly. As its food vanished, so did it. The fossil record falls silent after that point. Still, its extinction raises questions that linger to this day. Could it have survived longer, hidden in isolated forests? Some scientists doubt it, pointing out that no bones or DNA have been found younger than 300,000 years. But others note that tropical forests are poor at preserving fossils. Many species could have disappeared without leaving a trace. And then there are the stories. From the Himalayan Yeti to the Orang Pendek of Sumatra and the Sasquatch of North America, tales of towering hairy hominids persist across cultures. While there's no solid proof linking them to Gigantopithecus, the similarities are uncanny. Huge footprints, immense strength, a creature living on the edge of human discovery. Modern science sees Gigantopithecus not as a monster, but as a key piece of our evolutionary puzzle. Its closest living relative today is the orangutan. Genetic studies suggest that their lineages split around 10 to 12 million years ago. Orangutans adapted to the trees, while Gigantopithecus grew massive and earthbound. Both species depended on the same tropical forests, and both nearly vanished when those forests began to shrink. If you were to stand beside Gigantopithecus, you would barely reach its chest. Its head would tower above the leaves, its deep brown eyes watching with a calm, cautious intelligence. It could reach out and break a tree branch as thick as your arm, yet it probably spent much of its life peacefully feeding and resting, like a modern gorilla. What makes Gigantopithecus truly fascinating is not just its size, but what it represents. It's a reminder that humans were not always alone at the top. We shared this planet with creatures that could challenge us in strength, size, and endurance. For a brief moment in time, the line between man and monster was very thin. In caves where its fossils were found, researchers have uncovered traces of early human presence, stone tools, animal bones, and signs of fire. Some scientists speculate that as forests receded, humans and Gigantopithecus competed for the same shrinking resources. If they ever met face to face, one species would have seen the other as a threat, and in the long struggle for survival, intelligence won over strength. By the time modern humans spread across Asia, Gigantopithecus was gone, another chapter closed in evolution's story, yet its legend remained. The image of a towering ape roaming the misty forests still captures our imagination. From ancient myths to modern movies, Gigantopithecus blacki may be extinct, but it left behind a legacy that refuses to fade. Its bones tell the story of power and loss. Its myth lives on as the echo of a time when the wild ruled the world. Somewhere in those ancient forests, as the last of its kind walked beneath the trees, the world was changing forever. The age of giants was ending, and the age of humans was just beginning. It was the real King Kong of prehistory, a creature of flesh and bone, that once ruled the forests we now call home.